Thank you for tuning in to Connect More, featuring the shared experiences, new adventures, and nightmares of four pals who have known each other for decades. Connect More utilizes the swear jar concept to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. When you hear this during the episode, the offender will contribute to the swear jar. We'll update the swear jar each week at the end of the program. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, yo, welcome to another episode of Connect More. I'm Eric. There's John.
Hey.
That's Brian.
Yo.
And that's Jason.
Guten Tag.
On this episode of Connect More, Jason and I put X's on Mount Rushmore. John and Brian say their names 3 times into a mirror, and then we whip around on a modern times problem. But let's start with a check-in on everyone. Guys, we've been lucky enough to travel around the country and the globe. And what's your most surprising or interesting city that you've traveled to? John, I feel like if your answer isn't Chattanooga, there's going to be trouble in the household. But what's a cool city you've been to?
Yeah, I can't say that Chattanooga was a surprise, though, because I had it promoted to me for a long time. I will say I love a good driving trip around the Midwest, and I enjoyed my time in all of these cities. Probably the most has been Kansas City and Minneapolis, like a good St. Louis trip too. But recently, I found myself in Milwaukee, and the last time I was there was visiting family members in Racine in the 70s, and it was a little bit of a different scene, like Milwaukee County Stadium, and the guy sliding down the slide into the beer barrel, and like it was a little rougher, right? It was a little more of an industrial town at the time. I had read about and heard about what they've done, but seeing the river walk and the Summerfest grounds and the shore of Lake Michigan, and then of course just the downtown rebuild where it's all those same old buildings, a lot of Art Deco, a lot of stuff about 100 years old has been repurposed into either apartment condo living or hotels. And I was blown away. If you hadn't told me it was Milwaukee, I would have thought it was a really cool place.
Did you go to that public market they got downtown there?
Yeah, we did make it there. We also made it to the German restaurant row, Germantown, which is a couple blocks of just the old school German restaurants, one of which has been there for at least 100 years. I don't remember, 115 years or something, Modders, right? And it was just a great experience.
Yeah, good stuff. You bring up Old County Stadium, and that's the first place I ever saw a Major League Baseball
Me too.
Game in, and I love that place. But I got to tell you, kudos to Milwaukee for building a wonderful baseball stadium now. And I always say, we're all mostly Cubs fans in here, and I keep saying I go up and watch the Cubs in Milwaukee, before Wrigley Field anymore. But because they built that stadium there's like 2 exits that go right into the parking lot, easy in, easy out.
And it's got that gigantic industrial architecture piece that really tells you about the city as you're driving into it. I can't think of a city that's done it better.
And they preserved the home plate location of the Old County Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the ground.
And if you're going to a Cubs game there's just as many Cubs fans as you find at Wrigley Field. So you feel right at home. It's great.
Yes. Yeah. Weenus, where have you been that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I've been in a lot of places, as you know. I'll tell you my second place first. My second place was Bergen, Norway. Bergen, Norway is where my family's from, on my mother's side, and is also there's a big harbor there, just like most of Norway. Big harbor there, and at the end of that harbor is a big fish market. So you can pick out your fish while it's still flopping. They'll fillet it right there, and they'll cook it for you any way you want. And
Nice.
I probably had one of the best meals I ever had there. Outside at the fish market, a side of caviar and a Norwegian beer. It was wonderful. Plus, you can go, push and go tons of places. But my number one spot, Isla Mujeres. So, it's pick your poison at Isla Mujeres. Nice warm weather year round, obviously. You don't have the seaweed to worry about so much like you do in Cancun. You got an ice bar, you can go snorkeling, you go fishing. The food is very diversified. I mean, there's American food there. You can get a good pizza there. You can get really good Mexican food. That's kind of street. You can get street food there. You can get some real nice Mexican food there. Like my favorite breakfast is going to Mango Cafe and getting a stuffed poblano. So that stuffed poblano is full of scrambled eggs with ham and cheese, and then it's breaded and fried. Oh my God, that is flavor country. That's my favorite
like
breakfast.
We're there.
Yeah.
You're painting
Wonderful.
a picture with food.
Yes.
Listen, man,
Glorious.
you only get one
Wonderful.
happy place. Didn't we tell you had to choose?
Yeah. So I like Bergen, Norway, but I'm a repeat offender at Isla Mujeres for a reason. So
Apparently
yes.
so.
That sounds like my kind of a trip, a place with really great food, which is kind of segues into the place I was going to talk about because I love really good barbecue, and we haven't been there for a while, but my place is Memphis, Tennessee. I just love that place. Tanya and I went there for 4 days, and it was just wall to wall greatness. In Memphis, just even within a little bit of room, a few city blocks there in Memphis, you can catch a AAA baseball in a really nice stadium. You got the historic Peabody Hotel where they have the ducks where they walk, they put the red carpet down, they go in the elevator and they go up, and that's a whole show you have to see if you go to Memphis. Of course, you got Beale Street, bunch of blues music, a bunch of live music. They shut it down at night. That's 2 or 3 blocks. It's kind of like Vegas. You walk in and out of the bars with drinks and beer or whatever. And of course, then within blocks of there is the place where Elvis used to go eat breakfast all the time. The famous, fried banana sandwiches is where he got those. And also in that area is the Civil Rights Museum. And then a block over from the Civil Rights Museum is the Blues Music Hall of Fame. And then, of course, Sun Records. Sun Records is probably the smallest museum tour I've ever been on, but absolutely one of the greatest little tours we've ever taken.
So Memphis Chamber, if you're out there and listening, you get a chance to take a listen to this. We might be Midwest guys, but you're not that far away.
Give us a call. Jason, where you been?
So thinking domestically, one of my favorite cities in the United States, and I can't believe Wenis wasn't all over this, is New Orleans. And he and I traveled there several times together, and just such an amazing place. I actually haven't been there since Hurricane Katrina. That's how long it's been since I've been there. But it was just so, just the history and the food and the drinks and the museums and the nightlife and the tours was so much fun. We just had such a blast. I think we went there together twice, didn't we, Ween?
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was like
so
Europe
much
and the
fun.
States. It was like being in Europe and the United States.
It's so great. And we just enjoyed so much there. And it wasn't just going out partying and stuff, going to little museums and going on the walking tours and things and seeing the historic architecture was really fantastic. So,
and plus you had some friends who showed us where to go. That helped us a lot.
Yeah.
So
that was just really great to find a place like that in the United States that has this mystique to it. And we went all over the city, not just in the Bourbon Street area and things, and it was really a lot of fun. So domestically, that came to mind.
Did you guys do the haunted walking tour with
the voodoo tours and stuff?
Creepy apothecary thing with all of the where they were stacking the bodies and all that? Was that not an amazing story?
Yeah, I mean the whole city is just filled with that, and the cemetery tours and all that stuff. Really
now, did you
great.
guys go pre-Katrina? Because that's one of my bigger regrets
Yes.
is that I was never able to see it prior to Katrina. My first time was in 2007.
Yeah, I've never been there post Katrina, so I kind of want to take. Erin's never been there. I'd like to take her and really explore the city from a different point of view, not as a 20-year-old moron, but do it more as an adult.
As a 55-year-old moron. That's right.
Thank you. I was hoping someone would fill in the blanks on that.
Take the trolley ride. They restored the trolley very well. Go out all the way out west to Ninth Ward.
So there you have it.
Well, thanks for sharing your travel logs with us, folks. And now we move on from iconic cities to icon Gen Xers.
Welcome to Raised by Wolves, the segment where we take a look back at how Gen X somehow survived childhood without helmets, supervision, or a plan. We're talking latchkey living, Saturday morning cartoons, and pop culture that shaped us into the slightly cynical, mostly self-reliant adults that we are today. So, this whole conversation came out of a group chat, I believe, where some icon of our childhood passed away, and somehow it's like, oh, that person should be on the Gen X Mount Rushmore. And of course, that led to a whole text group chat conversation about who should be on the Gen X Mount Rushmore. So in this segment, we're going to see who makes the cut. There's 4 faces etched in stone representing an entire generation's culture, icons, and perhaps questionable fashion choices. So let's get at it, guys. Let's debate and dissect. And first of all, John, do you want to establish the rules for this about how we had to, the tiny little box that we had to put all of our cultural references and influences into? Would you like to explain that for the listeners?
Well, it's called a generation. So, you're grouped by sort of the group of people you were born around. And so Generation X, I didn't create it. Don't direct that at me, runs from 1965 to 1980. So we'll give you any birth date in that range.
So Ruben, just so you know, John was what we call like the showrunner for this. And so he made the rules and we had big debates about this. And then our Connect More arbiter, Captain Danielson, stepped in and decided to give the rules to John, who was the showrunner. And so this is, we had to come up with these 4 names of influential folks who were born in Generation X, which is 1965 to 1980. Much to me and Jason's objection, we wanted to do more folks that influenced us as Gen Xers, but let's do John's rules, right? Jason, what did you come up with?
So, given the parameters that I could work with here, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, it sounds sad, but when you start doing this, you're like, oh, how about so-and-so? You look at them, 1964.
Yeah.
Guess we can't include them on Mount Rushmore. 1981. Can't include those folks. So this is the list, and I fully expect this to be super controversial, etc. I guess that's the point of this. So my list, and I tried to span a wide range of different cultural buckets on this.
Yeah.
So Here we go. Kurt Cobain, Tom Brady, Gavin Newsom, and Tina Fey. That's the list.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But seriously, like when you start looking into it, there aren't a hell of a lot of people our age who've done like iconic stuff that we could put on here. So that's my
Jason,
list.
this is it. You nailed the what I thought was a really weird issue when you and I started working on this and defining the rules, because when you define the rules the way that John had us do this, it was we had to pick one of us. And this made me feel when I was looking at the names and considering who I'm going to put on here, and I'll give you mine, because there is like, you're holding your nose on a couple of these, but it's like when you go to a class reunion, I mean, not any of ours, John and Brian, like a real, put together class reunion where there's like a real dinner and a
Gross Point Blank, that kind.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have these awards like farthest traveled or whatever, and then everyone eventually has to vote on like maybe the most successful, and that always seems obvious in the room, but that's usually the fucko none of us really liked in high school, but we had to do that, right? So Jason, here's my Mount Rushmore of our fellow Gen Xers. I agreed with you with Tina Fey. I'm glad that you also had her on there. I went, we were close to another one, but I went a different way because this cat was, now that I say this out loud, sounds more insensitive, but he was influential longer. So it's David Grohl.
Oh, sure.
Nirvana, and then Foo Fighters was still a big thing, and all the other projects he did, very influential. I went into the world of sports too, and I picked
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods. I mean, when you
Mm-hmm.
think about what he did, I felt like it had to be Tiger
Yep.
Woods. And then
Yep.
my
Tiger's
fourth,
absolutely on my list. Sorry, sorry to interrupt, Puck, but absolutely, Tiger goes there.
so then I guess here's my fourth, kind of holding our nose and everything, but you can't deny how this person has changed for sure American life, and I'm sure global life. But I put Jeff Bezos on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the guy.
I get it.
So rate our picks, John and Brian. How'd we do?
I think, Brady's pretty hard to refute, and I think all you guys know I hate Tom Brady. And as a longtime Chiefs
I'm not a huge fan either, but it's undeniable
but you
the
can't
influence.
deny, seven rings, and then he's beat my guy the only 2 times they played. Like, you can't, I would have to make up an alternate universe in order to find a way to say that he wasn't good. So he is absolutely on the list. And also, you love the Tom Brady story, even if you don't like him. You like the low draft pick who works hard, gets his break, never gives up the ball until he's way too old. I don't know about the sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber and the crypto investments, but everything else is pretty cool. And then I thought the Tiger Woods one was kind of undeniable. I know those both come from the world of sports, but Tiger was a whole new thing. And it's for people who are younger, it's really not possible for me to explain how impossible Tiger Woods was before he happened. That sport particularly was
It's a good point.
reserved for men over 45, 50 years old. Like they would even wait to go into the senior league, until as late as they possibly could. And Tiger was playing at places that were whites only 20 years before he played them. Like, it was a remarkable sort of fast forward of the culture from which some might argue we are still reeling, because I don't know that there was a time for absorption of all of that change taking place. And then I want to know more about the Tina Fey thing. I love Tina Fey. I think there are a lot of women who could have gone on this list. I'm not sure why, what it is that are you saying that it's because she held down the anchor desk on SNL for so long and was so good at it and was breaking ground that way? Or sort of, what is your take there that gets you to Tina Fey?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was her groundbreaking. Not just the SNL desk, but the way that she did her humor. She brought her humor, and then she went on to. I felt like she opened doors for a different comedic sound, and actually and more emphasis on the female comedic sound with the things that she did. And I felt like in football, you talk about those coaching chains, they have all these assistant coaches and they go on and be head coaches. And I feel like Tina Fey had that. I mean, the people that were around her in her universe that went on to things, I mean, especially like Amy Poehler, those folks. So I thought she was, knocking down doors.
And even as a head writer at SNL, before she made it to the desk, groundbreaking, made it to the desk. And then, of course, 30 Rock, which was like one of those really foundational sitcoms that broke a lot of the rules and really made a huge splash and made a big star out of Alec Baldwin and stuff again. And just the writing was so top notch, and the cast and everything. And then as she's gone on even to make movies and write Broadway shows and Mean Girls and all this kind of stuff, her influence is almost everywhere. And I tried to think about other comedians who were in that little box who also made a big splash. It was hard to find them. I Googled, I looked at birthdays, and I just couldn't find anybody that I felt like had such a wide-ranging career in show business that was so influential, at least on me. Everybody else who I thought about was older than me, influencing us.
So I think the challenge for this group was probably to identify women who we felt like were accomplished enough that they belonged on it, or at least I'll own that piece. I was coming up with people like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, people who I thought had done something that was legitimately new and different from what went
Tupac
before.
was almost on my list too.
Yeah, so I wasn't, and then you've got like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, right? They feel like our people, and so that list comes. And so if you focus in on women, here's where I end up: Julia Roberts, right? The long run as America's sweetheart in our generation. How about Drew Barrymore, right? How about the longevity of Drew Barrymore's career, with the impactful acting from a very young age all the way through some of the really, I'm losing the one that she was in that was huge about 20 years ago right now. Was it 50 First Dates? Was that the one she was in? In any event.
Sure.
So long acting career for Drew. And then
obviously
the
we don't agree with John on this one.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you guys are, these people haven't done anything, have they? And then the other one was Jennifer Aniston, right? How do you argue with the cultural impact of like, they like named the hairstyle after the character and stuff, right? In terms of like the, not longitudinal, but latitudinal cultural impact, it just doesn't get any bigger than that, does it? They were gigantic. Like people were building their social life around sitting down and watching that show. So I felt like she had that big cultural impact. But I'll be quiet. Brian, what did you think?
John, you ignorant slut.
There you go.
Number 1, J-Lo.
J-Lo. For Gigli alone.
That's right. She's a movie star. 3 words, Anaconda. Okay.
There you go.
Anaconda.
Oh,
She's
brother.
right about our age too, isn't she?
I also have Andre Romel Young. Oh, that's Dr. Dre. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Dr. Dre.
Dre. I also threw Robert Downey Jr. in there. That's a story of redemption. That's also a story of excesses of the 80s and early 90s. Big comeback. He's kind of a chameleon. He's done some really good stuff over the years.
And an indelible impact on people our kids' age as well. And that's
Yes.
the kind of lasting thing you're looking for, right?
Yep.
And then I got to just put in this plug quickly. We did the Charlie Sheen documentary, and it is absolutely worth your time, especially as a retrospective from our age group. And some other time we will debate what it meant to sort of get sucked down the social media vortex that he got into. But I interrupted you.
So number 4 is, I was going to put Shaquille O'Neal in there.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
I like that.
Entrepreneur. He'd probably be the last guy you think would have a doctorate degree, right? He actually does.
Wait a minute. Is Shaq a Gen X?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
Shaq was on my long list.
He graduated
Okay.
the same year
He
we
definitely
did.
came up. In fact, Shaq
Oh,
and
yeah, he
Kobe are
did.
both on there. You got to
Yeah.
wrestle with Kobe being there too. And then the problem with that is Jordan just misses it, right? So this is the argument you guys want to have with me is people like Jordan and Kamala Harris just barely miss it.
Yeah, because I was going to say your girl Kamala, 1964.
6 weeks.
Oh, I
She
guess
misses
she's
it
not
by
Gen
6
X.
weeks.
So sorry.
She's
Missed
busy
it by that
gestating
much.
and misses the deadline. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So-
no, listen,
so
I'm
sorry.
looking forward to your guys' rebuttal where you do AM radio and freaking vaudeville, the talkies. So that's fine.
God.
That's all good. You guys, I know you guys were big James Dean guys, on the waterfront guys.
I kind of find the lack of a politician or a president depressing.
I thought the same thing. I was
I
thinking
was just
that too.
like,
That's
what
why
we
Gavin
got?
fucking
What we got?
Newsom made my list.
Yes.
That's the list of successful politicians who are our age.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's kind of how because I was looking at that too. I was like, come on, there's got to be one of us. And I guess that's why I went more tech when I picked Jeff Bezos, because there was not a politician on our list that I felt good putting on there.
But that's why, too, Joe Biden wanting to run again for that second term screwed our generation. Because
There's
it was our turn.
He wasn't even a boomer. He was a silent. So he
Oh
was
my
holding
God.
back another full generation. And
Right.
And you guys just like the end of the Scooby-Doo episodes, you guys just ripped the mask off the reason I did this whole thing, because you look at that list and it's skewed toward entertainment. We really opened the aperture on what was passed for entertainment. And of course, we went over it in sports too. But like, where are the business people and the politicians and the people who really invented something that was amazing? I mean, is it Tony Hawk? Like, what do I have to live with here?
So I guess good for you making that point through much of our pain, but we're going to set this right in the next episode because I'm the showrunner of the next episode. And because you also you talked about all these the influences, because for our influences back in those days, I mean, we were just getting cable TV, we were getting MTV, we're getting music in better ways as we're growing up, and everything. So this was fine. It was just fine. But next time in episode 6, we're going to have a lot of fun, because that's when Jason and I will bring the actual list that everyone wants to hear. And that's the Mount Rushmore of the people who actually influenced our generation.
I got your Dean Martin right here.
Oh, brother. Can't wait to see your list.
And now, welcome to Totally Unverified, where the facts are fuzzy, the sources are shady, and the confidence is cranked to 11. It's all half-remembered stories and urban legends you swear you read somewhere. Bonus points if it scrambles your memory of something. So Brian and I are going to do some fun urban myths. This is a part of our text chain that is lively, and we have a lot of fun with it, and it can go a lot of places. We probably don't need an entire podcast about this. Shout out to the folks over at Bigfoot for Breakfast who do this stuff day and night. But we're going to start off with just our totally unverified urban myths and legends. And Brian, I'm going to let you kick it off. What do you got for us?
All right. So I have the Villisca axe murder house. There were 8 murders. These are still totally unsolved. They've had 2 trials about this. The house still exists. You can stay there overnight if you want. Or if you're not, you don't think you can handle that, you can actually do a day tour. It became a tourist attraction back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And now you can actually go there and visit it. And there's all kinds of stuff going on in the house. People think they see stuff in the house, outside the house. They think they see the murderers. They think they see the people who died there. It's a whole different kind of spooky.
And just a heads up for folks that want to go to this place, it's intentional. I love my friends in Southwest Iowa. I like my occasional trips to Southwest Iowa, but you got to specifically go there to go to this. It's not like you're gonna accidentally drive by it.
When I was traveling the state in the early 2000s, you would lose cell service at about 70, between 59 and 71 out there. And so you were really like, it was a step back in time for sure. And especially at night, that added to the extra level of,
Yep. So this is one of the biggest murder mysteries in Iowa. Probably behind like Jody Husentruitt, which is another, good urban legend too. We don't know. Nobody has any idea what happened to her. There's all kinds of things that supposedly happened to her, but this is the one that has the most victims to it.
You had to bring up Jody. Now
That's
Ruben's
right.
going to be getting all weepy when he listens to this.
I know.
Where did the murders take place, Brian? Was this at an actual home, or was it a farmstead, or what was it?
It was actually like a farmhouse.
So that's out of town. It's like it's a rural setting.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can still go there, and that's where all the spooky stuff happens.
And then what was the deal? There was a whole family that was murdered there.
Yep. Whole family murdered there. 8 overall victims. So that's the biggest, and it's still. I mean, they had a nationwide manhunt for people. They had a couple trials for people who they thought did it, and
you're right about that. I mean, this is out on a county road. It's out in the middle. It's there's no street lights. It's all dark. So I would imagine this would be one of the creepiest haunted houses that you could stay in the state of Iowa for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You can still book it, right? That's still bookable as like an Airbnb
Absolutely.
situation.
You can go out to the website.
During Halloween, it's pretty much packed, right? For 6-8 weeks.
Yep. You can go out to the website and actually book it.
So Villisca Axe Murder House, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you about how Halloween is at your place. Has anyone ever been there? Actually, I was thinking one of the 4 of us would probably have been there. Eric, have you been there?
Driven by. I've
never gone either. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I might put it on the list.
I've driven by.
Put
That's
it
all
on
I've
the
done.
list. these microphones work just as well with ghosts in the room. So let's do it.
We go. We take the wives. We have
that's
time.
a no.
Connect more
That's a
on
no.
location at the Villisca Axe Murder House.
What could go wrong?
John will be like, my mic isn't connected up correctly. It must be the ghosts. Yeah, I'm sure that's the problem.
That's right. That's right. Wow. Busting on the technical skills. Man, hits me right here where it hurts. I pay Eric handsomely to edit stuff like that out. So if you guys can keep bringing that shit all you want, but it's going right out. So I'm going to introduce our totally unverified segment by talking about the Black Angel of the Oakland Cemetery in Iowa City, Iowa. So at 1000 Brown Street in Iowa City, there is a statue. It's 8.5 feet tall. It's bronze, but it's very corroded, and it's the magnet for kind of campus folklore. And so there are all of these legends that have grown up over time. And look, it's University of Iowa students who go get drunk and go out there. But it seems like each generation has its own new version of the lore, which I love. So here are the myths surrounding the Black Angel statue. Kiss the angel and you die in 7 years. So people with real guts will go up and drop a smooch on the angel. If you touch or kiss the angel, it's instant death or you've been cursed, right? Which is a nice slippery myth, because if you don't happen to die when you touch it, that just means you've been cursed and you're going to carry that around. The statue turns black or darkens on Halloween. The statue is not actually black, right? It's badly corroded bronze, and it does have like a darker hue to it, but it's like something you'd see in a My Chemical Romance video, right? It's nothing that's too like over the top in appearance.
Yes, well said.
And so on Halloween, there, of course, you want to go put the candles around it and all that. And I'm sure the crowds are out there on Halloween. I have not done that. And then if you steal a piece of it, the Black Angel will become angered, and that misfortune follows the vandals who did it throughout their lives. So you can't touch it. And then the statue is haunted or possessed and looking for victims. So that gets back into if you touch it, you're cursed. I will tell you, I have been there. I have done it. In the mid 80s, how this was done was with a bottle of Jack Daniels. And what you would choose to do was to urinate on the statue.
Yeah,
and I believe that was inspired, though we didn't really understand this at the time, or at least I didn't, that it was inspired by Ozzy Osbourne urinating on the Alamo, which is a true story and is now marked at the Alamo site. And I think, it would only be appropriate for the Black Angel to be marked with the famous people who have urinated there. But what I will say is I would be very interested in knowing any feedback about whether this is still an active legend or did it really die out with our generation, and are people still going out there and tempting fate today at the Black Angel. Now, I'm going to assume that all of you knew about the Black Angel, but have any of you been there?
I have been there.
Yeah, I have been too. In fact, I drive
Are we
by
4
Oakland
for 4 on trips to the Black Angel? We did not rehearse this. Ruben, we did not rehearse this.
Yeah, I drive by Oakland Cemetery quite a bit now that I'm in the area. And you said it became a campus thing, but it's really a regional thing. I mean, if you grew up on the southwest side of Cedar Rapids, you knew that story. People in Riverside, Washington County, people know this story about the Black Angel. One I had heard, which is kind of a compilation of what you said. If you kiss the angel, you'll be dead. I thought I heard one where if you took a girl there and kissed a girl in front of the Black Angel, like she would die in 7 years or something like that.
Oh,
anyone else hear that one?
I haven't heard that one.
No, I totally knew the urinating one, but I thought you had to run around the angel like 3 times and then urinate on the angel.
God, I don't remember the running around, but Eric,
or do the hokey pokey. What?
Someone might have just told you that. No, I think you got to run around it 3 times. That sounds like a really good deal.
Do it.
Yeah, no.
Put your left arm in, left arm out. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure that it was Jack Daniels, because I'm not sure we could afford that. It was a square bottle, like not really sure. And then Eric, if when the girlfriends keep dying, you have to come up with a better excuse than the Black Angel. Like, we have to talk about this offline.
She kissed a Black
Ruben,
Angel.
what did you tell him to say?
That was far outside of 7 years. Come on.
You busted the statute of limitations on that big time.
Or was it 7 times anything? I'm asking for a friend.
Eric's like, there are NDAs about all this. You guys know this is off limits. Stop it.
Was there some Oppo research done on this at some point? Was someone digging this up on you, Jocko? Like at some point when you were running for office, you had the opposition research, like, and then apparently he kissed a girl in front of the Black Angel, and then, you know.
Yeah, well, that's funny you say that, because that would actually also be just a great big huge myth, because I'm a very boring person. Whoever did the ops on me was not very entertained.
I only did what I was paid to do. So running around the Black Angel 3 times would make me feel like I had been whipped around.
Nice.
Very nice. No doubt someone's wondering where we are by now. So before we get called back to reality, let's stick and move with some quick takes, fast laughs, and then we're out. It's time for a good old-fashioned whip around.
Whip around!
Whip around!
Whip around!
Whip around. All right, this is quick and easy. What's worse, dead cell phone battery or spotty, unreliable Wi-Fi? Let's start with Jackson.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the dead battery. So I'm gonna go with dead battery. I'd rather, because at least I've got the phone. I can see what time it is and all that kind of stuff, even if it's not connected up to the Wi-Fi. I'd much rather avoid the dead battery, and I'm less worried about the Wi-Fi.
All right. How about John?
Got to have the battery. Hate an old phone where the battery goes down quickly and you have to plug it in all the time. I do the portable chargers. I look for the charger where I go places. I've bought it on the plane before. That is so humiliating to even admit. And then the Wi-Fi thing, you can usually sort that out, right? By finding, just getting somewhere that's got a hotspot or closer to a tower or whatever. I have not ever had a problem with that. Felt like that was what was hampering my life. The dead battery thing. I can't even have a conversation with my batteries less than about 7%. So there you go.
We believe that too, because we always said you were the first person we always talked about having a crackberry. Like you always had to have that warm light illuminating on you.
It's not good. And that's been how many years, right? And it doesn't get better. And I will confess to rationing all my time on these things. These are attention machines, and it's incredibly dangerous. And, I've been off Twitter for, 3-4 years now. And I think I may have to do the same thing to Facebook, but running that battery down all the time. And yes, I carried, one of the things he's alluding to is I carried 2 of them. I carried a personal one and a business. One of the business was often for state government. And had I not done that, about 5% of stuff I have had show up in the newspaper about me would have swollen to 95% of the stuff I actually did. So dead battery is the enemy.
Yeah. Who else I got left? Eric?
Yeah, I think this is a technological chicken or egg question, right? I mean, without Wi-Fi, what's the use of a good strong battery? Without a battery, what's the use of Wi-Fi? But I gotta tell you, I come down on the side with Brian on this one, because I would feel like if I had a good strong battery but no reliable Wi-Fi or anything, it would just be taunting me all the time, and it would just be irritating. What good is that device without that?
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for now. We're whipped. The swear jar amount to benefit American Cancer Society is up to $24. And most of it's Jason. So we'll just leave it at that. All right. Closing credits, please, nice lady.
Thank you for listening to Connect More. I'm the producer. Please subscribe and like this podcast, because it's my only chance of getting paid for this gig. Connect More is a product of Pantiger LLC and is hosted by Brian Danielson, Eric Van Lanker, Jason Nisus, and John Hedgecoff. Connect More is edited by me and Jocko. The showrunners are Jax, Hedge, and Weenus. Theme music written and recorded by Ryan Veeder. Cover art designed by Leon Golden. Musical director is Evil. Legal liaison is Brian. Lead writers are John and Eric. Runner-up writers are Jason and Captain Danielson. Publication coordinator is Jax. Special thanks to GVC, Aaron, Miss Roper, and Yoko. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Connect More on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.